Hey guys, we are taking a look at the latest exclusive from Marvel Legends. We have got the Walmart exclusive Thanos figure. This was, as I'm sure everybody knows, previously a Build-A-Figure, and just like they did with Groot, they repackaged him, gave him a nice new paint job that's more in line with the classic comics. We've got an Infinity Gauntlet, we've got an extra head in there. Very excited to get this guy because I don't have that Build-A-Figure, but he looks very cool. We've got the standard Marvel Legends packaging as you would expect. We've got artwork on the side, we've got a product shot on the back, and yeah, he just looks really good. I'm very excited to tear into this guy, so let's pull him out and take a closer look. Okay, here is our Thanos figure out of the packaging, and having not ever owned this particular Build-A-Figure before, I am very happy that this is one that they decided to reissue. Obviously now makes perfect sense to reissue this guy with Infinity War about to hit the theaters, so it makes perfect sense to capitalize on the impending Thanos popularity to get him back onto store shelves. So this guy was the Build-A-Figure for a wave of Avengers figures back in 2015, I believe. He has a different face sculpt in this package. He has two heads, and we've got the Infinity Gauntlet this time around, so he actually has a few accessories. He is still the overall same figure, so it has the same issues and same positives that figure has. It is a more contemporary design for Thanos. This is not his true classic look, but they're going for a more classic color scheme and trying to make it look like his original look, basically, without altering the overall figure itself. So let's do paint, articulation, sculpt, all that good stuff, and then we'll take a look at some of the extras he has. So this is the extra head to start with. I swapped it out just to have it front and center because this is the head I'm going to be using, but we will show the other face as well. So this head can swivel. He has some up motion, but he doesn't really have a lot down. There's a little, but not tons. It's kind of limited. The arms can go all the way out. They can lift up, but, and this is where, you know, I say he still has all the same issues. When you go up with the arms, the shoulder is obviously going to hit this collar piece, whatever you want to call this. It is actually a separate piece, and it pegs into the plastic. So, and when I took this guy out of the box, it was actually already kind of not even connected. So there's two pegs that peg into the shoulders on top of Thanos, and it's a free-floating piece. But once you start moving him too far, he's going to pop that right out, and it looks kind of weird if you go up too high like that. That certainly doesn't look right. So just keep that in mind. Kind of an oddity. It's unfortunate because I don't know of a way to really work around that without just kind of, you know, posing it away and then letting it sit there. So we've got a bicep swivel. We've got single jointed elbows, and they are really limited. That's as far as it's going to go because of these bracers, these kind of gauntlet pieces. That's as far as they're going to go. So you don't have a whole lot of hinge motion there. They're limited in the fact that it's a single joint to begin with, but this thing right here takes up the entirety of the forearm, basically. Same with the other arms. This is obviously the gauntlet. These are just kind of his bracers. This is a free-floating piece, but it's also going to hit the bicep really quickly as well. So keep that in mind when you are flexing those arms. We do have hinged and swiveling wrists, so those are pretty good. They are the same kind of hinge on both sides. There's a little bit of motion there. We've got a crunch. He can go forward, and he can go back just a little bit. We have got a waist twist. So it's underneath the space girdle that he's wearing here, and it's going to limit your movement there as well. Legs are almost non-existent on the horizontal movement. They don't go any further out than that. Kick is only about that high on those meaty thighs, and we've got just a slight on the backswing, thigh cut, double jointed knees, and they're pretty decent, more than 90 anyway. And then there's a boot cut, and we've got rockers and hinges in those ankles. So a lot of it, the articulation itself is basically everything you expect. It's just limited by his design. So to kind of run through those limitations, you know, we've got the collar piece impedes the motion on the upswing of the arm. The bracers, gauntlets, whatever you want to call them, impede the motion of the elbows. The girdle impedes the motion, or belt, maybe that's a belt. I like saying it's a girdle though, it sounds goofy. Impedes motion on the waist twist, and his overall legs are just so big that they can't really kick too far. So I guess, is that enough? That's probably enough problems. It doesn't really bother me though. I'm going to kind of backpedal on that. It doesn't really bother me too much because Thanos is such a big, bulky guy that for my intended purpose of display, he's going to be just kind of a looming, you know, menacing presence on the shelf. He's not going to be in any kind of dynamic pose. Now, if that's what your intention is, then you're probably going to be a little disappointed with this figure. So, you know, objectively speaking, his articulation is pretty poor, but subjectively, I'm not too upset about it. Now, as far as the overall look here, paint, sculpt, I do like the sculpt on this guy. I do like the overall look. I like the sort of contemporary suit that they give him here with this figure. I like that it still slightly mimics his classic look while also not being his classic look. And what they've done with the new plastic here really makes him look slightly more classic than the original Build-A-Figure, which was a dark navy style blue. This is very much a bright, vibrant blue. It's molded that way as well. It's that metallic pearlescent style plastic that we see every now and again. So it's a similar thing they've got in the body, kind of the body suit that goes along with the gold in all of the armory type pieces. So this is similar in design and function with how it shimmers and how it looks kind of pearlescent. There's a little bit of marbling that you can see in the blue, which is usually something that you get with big chunks of this style plastic. So I generally am okay with that look. I actually think it looks pretty cool. It catches the light really well, and it looks different on the shelf for the most part. He is, again, he's not the classic Thanos, which is what I would truly like to have, but this is close enough that I'm actually okay with it. And the fact that we have the gauntlet this time around is really nice. You know, it's slightly oversized hand and the cuff here. So this is a different piece than this. And it's got, of course, the Infinity Gems, Infinity Stones in there, painted on the top of the gauntlet as well. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this look. He does have the silver kind of inlay on the knees, on the thighs, and then he's got kind of the pinstriping that goes along the arms. And it's actually really clean on my figure. I saw a couple at the store that were not. So they got left behind. And then we've got this gold spine that's sculpted on the back, and it actually goes into the crunch joint, which is really nice. So it kind of flows a little better if you've got him hunched over a bit. And like I said previously, this is the extra head that he comes with. This isn't what he comes packaged with in the box. This is the one that I'm going to be displaying him with, so I figured I'd pop it on. And it's, you know, kind of his classic I'm upset, I'm mad kind of face. I like the wash that's on it, the dark purple skin. The original Thanos had a light purple skin, so this is more in line with his classic comic appearance. And then we've got the blue, which is still the same kind of marbly, pearlescent, metallic blue plastic with some gold inlay paint on the top. And then we've got those kind of light blue eyes, which I think the overall head sculpt here is really what sells me on this figure. Now, as far as accessories goes, we do have a couple pieces. We've got an extra hand, so you can swap out the Infinity Gauntlet, and it's just another hand. It's the gripping style hand that replaces the same kind of pose, just the regular hand, not the gauntlet. So nothing too crazy there. And then we do have the original head for the Build-A-Figure, which is his kind of smiling face. Very, very similar, but just a different facial expression overall. Same paint scheme, all that good stuff. And an updated skin tone for this new figure compared to the original BAF. So overall, I am really happy with this figure. It definitely does have its drawbacks, don't get me wrong. If this was a Build-A-Figure that I had bought an entire wave of figures for, I would be slightly less enthused about it because it has such little articulation. He really doesn't have a great range of motion. I do, however, really like his overall look. I like the attempt to make him look more classic while still keeping within the confines of this more updated sculpt. I get what they're going for. I know they're not going to redesign this entire figure when they've already got an existing modern mold to use. So that's okay with me. I like the inclusion of the Infinity Gauntlet. I like the extra head that has his stoic expression. It's very classic Thanos for me. And I like the choice of plastic that they use. I like the metallic pearlescent, marbly kind of sheen that it gives off when the light hits it just right. It looks cool on the shelf. So I would suggest getting this, especially if you don't have the original Build-A-Figure. And honestly, if I had the original Build-A-Figure, I'd probably get this anyway because I think it's better. So that is going to do it for this look at the Walmart exclusive Thanos figure from Hasbro. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.